This is
Omar walks away live.
It's a Titanic. It doesn't turn on a dime.
There we go.
You sabotaged it, Omar.
Good job, Omar. I'm so proud of you.
You've got the green light.
I said, give me a second.
You did say
He
that.
said as soon as he had started pushing the thing with the thing. All right, here we go.
It sounds like a penis joke.
It's like the best ATW9K ever. All the quality.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and welcome to Atomic Trivia War. And yes, that voice you hear is not the spelled tones of our favorite Ohio beautiful man. It is me, the Northern Man. I have taken control. Do not attempt to adjust your iPod or other devices are available. We have a show for you prepared by myself. Thank you, Jason, for letting me steer the ship for a change.
Yeah, you know, once a
We're
year.
gonna be here for hours.
I know we are.
We're gonna be here for fucking hours, man.
This is
The
why
voice you hear, soy un perador, is our man, Mr. Omar Hernandez, coming to you from Costa Rica.
Why? Why, Jason? Why?
How did you like my my little Spanish there? Was it on fleck?
No, it wasn't. It was pretty close, but not quite there.
Okay, well, then we have someone over in Washington who was going to be on the show, but she got high. We have Ro Montanona.
I'm not. I'm clear. I'm just
You're
distracted.
free and clear.
I'm
Are you playing your game right now, Ro?
No.
Ro, eyes front. Put down the Pac-Man.
Well,
Honestly.
I need it for Kahoot. See?
Oh, you do need it for Kahoot. Okay, here we go. And the returning champ now entering the ring.
Oh shit.
Wait, we don't have the rights to that song. Now entering the ring, taking off his quite large belt. It's Jason.
Did you just say quite large belt?
It's true.
We're going to hang the belt over the ring because we have a battle royal once again. We're going to be doing this on the Kahoots again this week, and it's all video game themed, guys. How do you feel about that?
We're
I'm
all
excited.
ecstatic. Mhm.
Yes.
It's gonna be 3-paragraph questions with 3-paragraph
I
answers.
know.
You know
It's
what?
like-
That was the hardest thing about Kahoot, Jason. I don't know how you do this every week, but there is like a character limit of like, it is so small. It is so small. It is less than like a Twitter per question. It is crazy small. So some of the questions might sound a little tough. So
Are we still talking about Jason and his junk?
No, we're talking about how Kevin. There's a character limit to the questions on Kahoot, so Kevin had issues.
That's it.
Oh, since he said like it was tiny and small.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go with. By the way, I'm hitting this thing that says randomize the order of answers. So don't think that just because it's number 1, number 2, or number 3 that it's the right answer. The computer will completely randomize the answers for us. Here we go.
Are you supposed to have all of this already ready?
I suppose maybe. Here we go. We are going with room 773-283. 773-283. Now, bear in mind, this is video games, and this isn't just video games. This is Kevin video games. So, you know, it's not going to be that console heavy. It's going to be PC heavy. We have the winner stepping into the ring. I assume is Omar.
Nope.
That's Jason.
That's me. I'm going to win tonight. I'm going to smack all y'all down.
We have Go Hawk, who I assume is Jason Hawk as well.
Go Hawks!
Oh, Go
Right.
Hawks. Okay.
Going to the game on Sunday.
Okay,
Yeah.
Kahoot censored Dick, even though it's
Really?
an actual name.
It,
It was supposed to be Dick Jason because it's like Dick Grayson,
oh.
but whatever.
It turned it into bassoon. Omar,
Yes.
can you play the bassoon? You play a lot of
No.
instruments.
I actually tomorrow have to pick up my banjo.
Can you play the skin flute?
No, nothing that involves wind.
You could have kept the superhero theme and gone with Nightwang.
All right, I'm going to try my best to remember these names. Go Hawks, bassoon, and the winner. Here we go. Starting. Question number 1. Video game history. Are you ready? It's loading. It's loading. Okay, starting easy. How many buttons were on the traditional NES controller? How many buttons were on the traditional NES controller? We're going for 2, 4, 6, or 8. And
Who put 8?
It's left, up, right, down. That's 4.
okay,
doesn't
the
count.
D-pad is
A, B,
not buttons. The D-pad is not buttons, dude.
Have you ever dismantled a NES controller? They are fucking buttons, man.
I'm gonna say, all right. Can we institute a new rule? By the way, if you got it right, can you put your hand up so I know who got it right? I think we have to do that. All right.
Wait,
There we go.
I had it right. It's fucking
Jason-
8 buttons.
Jason and Ro got it right. Omar doesn't know the difference between a button and a D-pad, and the answer is, of course, 4.
I did have to think about it though, because it's a very poorly worded question, Kevin. I'm just going to
Yes.
criticize you here tonight. You know, you've got your A button and your B button, but you also chose select and start as being buttons. They're not really buttons though. They're
What
more
would
of
you
like
call those?
toggles. I don't
You're
know.
gonna call those toggles.
I'm going to call them toggles. Yeah, they're
They're
not traditional
all
round
buttons.
buttons.
That's what your wife said. It's toggle more than anything going on down there. Anyhow, the president has been kidnapped by ninjas. Cries the intro from this classic game. Is it River City Ransom? Is it Streets of Rage? Is it Double Dragon? Or is it Bad Dudes? Wow,
What the fuck
across
is
the
Bad
board
Dudes?
here. Across
Bad
the board.
I always played Billy, baby.
The president has been kidnapped by ninjas. This is a
Good
classic
God.
game from both the arcade and the NES.
Yeah,
And,
I thought it was Streets of Rage, though.
yeah, that's the same era, but yeah, it's a beat 'em up and the most classic of intro of all time.
The president has been kidnapped by ninjas. Are you a bad enough dude to save him?
That's it.
Kevin, can you hit the hide on the little bar down there?
Oh, on this thing. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay,
Thank you.
sorry, mate. Next, Jason in the lead right now. Here we go. In the classic game Spy Hunter, what was not a weapon you could use? Spike strip, smoke screen, oil slick, guided missile. Everyone got spike strip. Yeah. Jason's breaking out the Peter Gunn theme. Do 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 do. And that thing used to roar in the arcade. All the kids who remember that from the arcade.
That's a very simple game, but a very good one. We don't have anything really like that anymore.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, we do.
It would make a really good phone game,
Yeah.
but
What do you-
but when it comes to consoles, you don't really get like a top-down car shooters.
What do you think's the closest relative to that game today? Grand Theft Auto, maybe?
Well, Grand Theft Auto is not really top-down anymore, and it's not really
No,
about
but
racing in any way.
Nothing's top down. I mean,
Ridiculous fishing.
You have a lot of bullet hells that are top down and space bullet hells that are top down.
Would you
And Star
call
Wars is a ship.
Would you call that game a bullet hell though? Because it doesn't really feel like it.
No, but it's a top down, like dodging things and shooting things.
I would say
Overall, we don't get
ridiculous
very
fishing.
simplistic racers at all.
It's not a racer though.
all right, you racists. Jason is definitely holding on to his title by a factor of 3 right now. So
The miss.
you guys got to come back to take that
It's not a
time.
factor of 3.
No, Kevin can't do math.
After Nintendo's license to use Mike Tyson expired, who replaced his character in Punch-Out? Was it Macho Man? Was it Buster Douglas? Was it Sandman? Or was it Mr. Dream? All of you chose Mr. Dream. Nicely done. He was, Macho Man was like, I don't know. I always get him and Macho Man mixed up. All right. Jason's still in the lead. The Kung Fu Master hero fights his way up a 5-level pagoda and is based on which Bruce Lee film? Is it Way of the Dragon? Is it Game of Death? Is it Enter the Dragon? Or is it Let the Dragon Consume You?
Oh, I missed
Yes,
it.
Jason got it wrong. That's
I
great.
missed it.
Yes, ends his
Of
streak.
course.
What did you
I
say,
had-
Jason? You said Enter the Dragon?
I said Enter the Dragon. I don't remember this game at all.
Game of Death. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is in that game.
I wouldn't have even picked a Game of Death as my second answer. I would have gone Enter the Dragon, which was first, and then I would have chosen Way of the Dragon second.
Okay. Do you remember the game Kung Fu or Kung Fu Master? It was called Kung
course.
Fu on the NES.
Yes.
I remember Kung Fu on the NES.
Yeah.
And I remember Kung Fu Master Killer from the Wu-Tang Clan.
It was called Kung Fu Master in the arcade and the Commodore 64 version, which I played a lot of. Anyhow, Jason, you're still in the lead. Ro's kind of trailing. Come on, Ro. Light guns were a mainstay of the arcade and CRT TV consoles. Which is not a light gun game? Terminator Salvation, Revolution X, Operation Wolf, or Space Ace?
Oh, I got it wrong again.
So who got this one right?
Omar.
I got
Omar.
the Dutch.
Yes, of course, Space Ace being You know what Space Ace is. Terminator Revolution X was the Aerosmith one. Remember that?
Aerosmith one, yeah.
Were
You,
you, like-
you shot like CDs or something like that?
That's right. You shot CDs to save the universe from
Yeah.
bad music or something like that.
Something like
But
that.
Operation Wolf is what I chose because I thought that was the helicopter game where you're like flying back and forth rescuing hostages.
No, that's Choplifter, dude. That's Choplifter.
Well,
Operation Wolf.
Choplifter is one of them. Airwolf would have been a correct thing with that. But what's the helicopter game that's named Operation something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Operation Wolf was one of the original ones that had like the Uzi, and you like shot with the Uzi that was mounted to it.
Oh, okay.
But you're still in the lead there, Jason, but not by much.
No, terribly small margin now.
This 1983 laser disc-driven animation arcade game starred Dirk the Daring. Was it Mad Dog McCree? Was it Space Ace? Was it Who Shot Johnny Rock? Or was it Dragon's Lair? And you all got Dragon's Lair.
But Omar got ahead. He's in the lead now.
Dragon's Lair was followed up by
Well,
Space
it's not
Ace.
Jason. Totally okay with this.
Same Don Bluth thing. So, same Don
Good job,
Bluth produced thing. I can't speak at the moment. Omar's in the lead. The main antagonists in Half-Life 2 are the Overwatch, the Combine, the Faction, the Reavers. And the answer is, of course...
Ooh, someone had it wrong.
I never played
Combine.
Half-Life. I don't know what the fuck this is about.
What? You never played Half-Life 2?
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, girl, get on that.
Missing out,
Why would
bro.
I want to play something old like that? Now I'm good.
That's a really good
Half-Life
game.
2 is not old. Half-Life 2 is like the same technology as, say, Team Fortress 2.
And that's old.
And
Yes.
awesome. Anyhow,
It feels worse than Team Fortress 2. It feels
Almost
like
a
there's a
decade.
lot less of a range of motion.
Almost a decade.
what are you on about, son? It's less of a range
The
of motion.
problem with Half-Life 2 is now you can probably get like motion sickness out of it because it's not that smooth.
Do you
Yeah,
remember
I'm
when
good.
we went back and we tried to play Half-Life Deathmatch and it was just terrible?
It was.
Oh, but that was
awesome.
Half-Life the on Source 1. I mean that was like the original engine.
I think that was Half-Life 2 engine, but there that is.
Really? Oh shit.
Yeah,
It was. It featured levels from Half-Life 2.
it did.
We were
that
playing the
was
ones
bad.
with the big crates and everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love that one level though that had like the button in the middle, and when you pushed it, everybody had to get into that one tiny room, or else everything would explode.
Yes.
That was
It had clipping issues and the latency problems were bad.
Jason wasn't good at it. Anyhow, but you know what Jason is good at is this game. But he's in number 2 at the minute. Omar's in the lead comfortably.
Omar is on fire.
Which standalone game did not begin as a free Half-Life mod? Was it Dino D-Day? Was it Dave Defeat? Was it Counter-Strike?
Oh,
or was it
shit.
Brothers in Arms?
Yeah, I got that right.
Mm,
Guessing.
The answer was Brothers in
Absolutely.
Arms. Oh, Omar, did you say Counter-Strike?
Yeah, it was just I mean I know.
Yeah.
I was
Counter-
simply guessing, so don't worry about it.
You were? Brothers in Arms was the squad-based World War II one.
You act like I know anything about Half-Life.
This
Other
isn't,
than, like,
but
something-
Brothers in Arms wasn't Half-Life.
Gordon
That's
Freeman, something like that. That's the only thing I know.
but these
Did
other
we play
games,
Dino D-Day? Did somebody talk about buying that? I don't remember.
I definitely have it. It goes on sale for like $2.
Yeah, I
during
probably
the
have it
sales.
somewhere.
It's basically Dave Defeat with dinosaurs running around. I tried it. I didn't love it, but I do love Dave Defeat. But the Half-Life engine was written so openly that a lot of these great games started as just free mods from it, including The Ship. Did any of you guys play The Ship?
No.
Did not play the ship.
Yeah, that was that murder one that like you're on this boat and someone's trying to murder you and you're trying to murder. It was very different than a first-person shooter. Anyhow, Mr. The Winner is currently the winner and on fire. Mr. Bassoon, that's Omar, is
Come on, Omar.
and bro, bring up the lead. Come on.
I don't. These are games you play.
Team Fortress Classic later became Team Fortress 2, which you guys love. What could you not do in Team Fortress Classic? Spies could lie down and pretend they were dead. Medics could infect enemies with contagious diseases. Demomen would blow open and close key tunnels on the map, or soldiers could throw flashbangs to temporarily blind enemies.
Don't remember.
I don't remember.
Hi there, I got the right answer.
You could do all those things except soldiers with flashbangs to temporarily blind enemies. Man, it was so cool that you could just pretend to be a dead guy and just lie there. And it made you run around in the game shooting all the dead bodies in the game because you didn't trust any of them. But that never made it to TF2. I don't know why. All right, Jason's still getting a comfortable lead now. Comfortable lead. He's eyeing that big old belt that's hanging above the ring. He's getting ready to put it back on.
I hope it's a size 46, baby.
Team Fortress 2 has gone from 9 dudes with a couple of weapons to hundreds, which isn't a real weapon. Probably guessing here. Baby's Face Blaster, the Bat Saber, the Flying Guillotine, or the Spy's Lament. Answer is the Spy's Lament, and Jason furthers his lead. That's
Who
pretty
still
much
plays this game?
I know. What the fuck?
that's pretty much a guessing game right there, though. And,
God, these are like so obscure.
It was a total guess.
that was a guess. There's not many guesses in this game, but that was one of them. Jason, you have 9,600-ish. Omar has 6,900-ish. And Roe with 4,600-ish. But it's anyone's game because we've got a lot of questions yet to go. The seminal 93 first-person shooter Doom what was the most powerful weapon at your disposal? Was it Vera? Was it the Soul Reaver? Was it the BFG 9000? Or was it love?
The
And-
fifth element was love.
Yeah, you all got the BFG, the big fuck-off gun 9000.
I almost got really upset, though, because I went so fast to click on that yellow square, and I like almost clicked on the green. I was
Jason, you're missing the question.
a pixel.
Swarms of bombers run towards you holding their screaming severed heads. What are you playing? From 2001.
It's an actual fun game.
I know.
It is Serious Sam. Who missed that one? Bro, did you miss that one?
Whatever.
Omar, you played this game?
Of course.
It was like no money at all to buy this game. But that was the most memorable part. Was like there was like 50 guys who would run towards you headless and screaming, and if they reach you, they explode. They were so iconic. The sound still haunts my dreams, Omar. All right, Jason's still in the lead. Solve the puzzles in this mansion of the evil toy maker Stauff in this 1993 CD-ROM classic. We talking about Maniac Mansion, The Seventh Guest, Myst, or Phantasmagoria?
I think I missed. Oh, I got it. This
No,
was a
I
total
missed it.
guess.
Oh, nicely done, Jason. The Seventh Guest.
I knew
No,
it wasn't
this
Manic
was a-
Mansion. I knew it wasn't Myst.
This was a total the seventh guess.
Yeah,
Shit.
I played this one. I finished this one. But I did have to look up some of the puzzles on the internet. Back in those days, you had to like look on a BBS or something and get a big typewritten cheat sheet.
You know, I was just talking with somebody today, a library director. Do you guys know what a library is?
Yeah.
It's one of those places you go and they used to have books. Now they have some books in the back room and they have like lots of computers and stuff.
They have
But
awesome stuff in the library, but go on.
This library director and I were talking about the old days of the internet when people still thought it was a fad that was just going to go away, and how the libraries had to buy these books that were directories of websites.
Yes,
Like if you wanted to know where to go on the web, you had to get this book down and flip through it and be like, well, there's www.aholes.com or
There's like-
www.alcoholicsanonymous.com.
I got one for my 21st birthday. I had a 21st birthday party, and I got one of these books, and it was like McDonald's.com. Did you know that McDonald's has a website? You can go to McDonald's website and check it out. It's literally, like, my library now is awesome. It has like a 3D printer that you can like use, and it has a big green screen room you can use. It's got all kinds of crazy stuff. Anyhow, Jason, your lead is getting so comfortable. I don't know.
Just like my butt.
The first official Star Wars first-person shooter was released in 1995. What was it called? Was it Star Wars Dark Forces, Star Wars The Sith Awakening, Star Wars Revenge of the Empire, or Star Wars Jar Jar's Fabulous Adventure? Of course, it's Dark Forces with
Kyle Katarn.
Kyle Katarn and
Pretty
the Jedi
decent
Knight
game.
series.
It was a decent game.
It's a decent game. Yeah, I
It was a
finished all-
decent game, and it felt more polished than Half-Life 2.
Oh, snap, son. Put that away. Put
No,
that
actually,
away.
it didn't. It feels really bad if you go back and play it. You remember the last time that you went back and played Wolfenstein 3D?
I've played it recently.
You know
And
how it
Doom.
feels like really slidey? Like the perspective as you're looking around doesn't make sense.
It's like
Nope.
fish-eyed.
If you play Dark Forces now, it feels that way.
Yeah, yeah. I would go back and play Jedi Academy or something like that now, though. That would still be fun. I expect. I don't know.
Those old games give me motion sickness, like in a few minutes.
Do they?
Yeah, the rendering is all wrong.
The second Dark Forces Jedi Knight had all that full motion video. That was like the first time you saw like lightsabers since Jedi. And go on YouTube and watch them. I mean, back then it was a big deal. Now it's like the kind of thing that a high school produces. But there that is. Jason at 15 grand, Omar at 9 grand, Ro at 5 grand, but it's still anyone's game, honestly. Tommy Vassetti, Nico Bellic, Trevor Phillips, and Carl C.J. Johnson are all from what franchise? Talking about Grand Theft Auto? We talking about Max Payne? Talking about Saints Row? Or are we talking about Far Cry?
Come on. Yes.
I missed it. I was playing the player and not the question itself. I assumed that Kevin would put this in for the Max Payne.
Tommy Vassetti, come on. San Andreas? No, I'm sorry, Vice City?
Yeah, he's Vice City. Yeah, and I got the full spread here. I got Vice City, Nico Bellic from Grand Theft Auto 4, Trevor Phillips from Grand Theft Auto 5, Carl Johnson is from San Andreas. So you only had to play one of those games to get that question right. But only Omar got it. So you guys all thought I would be Max Payne prejudiced, which I totally am. In Assassin's Creed 2, Ezio teams up with Leonardo da Vinci and climbs Brunelleschi's dome. Where? So this is both either a history question or a video game question. You can take your pick. The answer, of course, where Michelangelo is, or where Leonardo da Vinci comes from, and where Brunelleschi's dome is Florence, Italy. Who got that right? Omar. That's also where I had my honeymoon. So, it's good stuff there. It's where Michelangelo's David is. This 1992 title is the first mainstream real-time strategy and pits factions Harkonnen versus the Atreides and the Ordos. Am I talking about Dune 2, The Battle for Arrakis, Warcraft, Orcs and Humans, Command and Conquer, or Total Annihilation? We are talking about Dune 2, The Battle for Arrakis.
I haven't even watched the series or play the game, and I know Harkonnen is it's Dune.
That's it. I like to give a couple of approaches to this, because if you haven't played the game, if you have a passing reference of the game, of the novels or movie Dune, you should be able to get this question. But Ro, you're Kevin, rolling your eyes pretty hard.
You're a pretty big fan, Kev.
The majority of your games, so this is pretty much like a wash for a quiz. So I'm just like, whatever. I'm gonna randomly tap my iPad now.
Haven't you seen the Dune game, the Dune movie?
Nope.
With Sting?
Nope.
Oh, nope. That sounds like a movie night in the making.
Nope. I want to do a quiz for Kahoot and just give all my obscure favorite games that you guys don't play and see how you guys feel.
What were you saying, Jason?
Well, I know that you're kind of a big fan of Dune, right?
Not really, but go on.
Oh, I thought that you were one of these guys who'd watched like all the different iterations of it. I was going to ask which one you liked, whether it was the sci-fi one or the long epic one or the David Fincher one.
The Fincher one's the only one I've ever seen, but why don't you tell us, if you are a Dune virgin and you are book-averse, where should you start?
Well, first of all, if you're a Dune virgin and you're book-averse, get book on a verse. Go read a book. Read a motherfucking book.
You're bringing that back.
I am.
Okay, but what photographed entertainment would you suggest?
I do like the Sci-Fi Channel's version of it, which has a little bit of bad computer graphics if you look at it, but still I think the acting is not bad, and it is a little bit slow-paced in places, but it stays pretty true to the books.
Okay. Jason in the lead. Omar still a contender. Less of a contender, but still can turn it around. Riven, Uru, and Exile are sequels to what 1993 title? Am I talking about Gabriel Knight? Am I talking about Myst? Am I talking about Star Fox? Am I talking about Deus Ex?
I randomly guessed that.
You guys all got it. It was Myst.
I was going like this with the iPad, like whatever.
But you know what my brain told me first? It didn't say Riven. It said Hexen in my brain.
Oh, Hexen. That was like Heretic 2?
No, Hexen, yes. Heretic 2.
Yes, that was that sort of wizard kind of Doom. It was like Doom in a medieval setting.
That's exactly what it was. It was one of those old shareware titles. So you got Heretic, you got Hexen, and you went around and you didn't let the parents look at it because they would think that it was the Church of Satan trying to get into your mind.
Yeah, that and Doom. You must have had it pretty hard in that right-wing conservative family of yours there.
You got to play some games like that where the parents don't know about them.
All right, Jason, 17 grand, and Omar at 14. So let's see what's coming. Monkey Island, Maniac Mansion, Grim Fandango, and Full Throttle all came from this publisher. Activision, Sierra, LucasArts, or Electronic Arts. What am I talking about?
You're talking about George Lucas, baby.
That's it.
All awesome games.
That's right.
Bro, you never played either of those?
Nope.
Oh, man. I'm pretty sure you would enjoy Monkey Island 3.
She would. She would really like the Monkey Island franchise, I think.
Yes.
I really liked
Day of the
Maniac
Tentacle
Mansion
is one.
2. Yeah, the Day of the Tentacle.
Tentacle. That's also very good.
It's all hooked into American history as well, the Day of the Tentacle. It's kind of, what's that Nicolas Cage treasure hunt film?
National Treasure.
National Treasure, which we spoke about last week. All right. You are standing in an open field west of a White House. Famously opens this text adventure. We talking about King's Quest, Knight's Quest, The Hobbit, or Zork?
Zork.
And
It
you
is
guys
Zork.
all got that one. You know what? I didn't even know till this week that was actually programmed in the 70s on these like big supercomputers at universities. And when it came time to put it onto discs for home, it was too big, so they made like it into 3 games basically.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually played Zork. I think I've only played like Zork 3 or some weird shareware version, because that's where I saw a lot of those old text games was you'd get the shareware catalog in the mail. Do you guys remember doing that?
No, I got my shareware through PC Gamer magazines on CDs.
Yeah, that too. But my drugstore had like a cardboard stand with lots of floppies on it, and you
Oh,
get
I
your
remember
Commander
those.
Keens and your.
But I would get the shareware catalog in the mail, and I would spend all month going through and circling the ones that I wanted, and then weeding it down until I could get like the one game that cost $4.99 that my parents would actually pay for.
Nice. All right, Jason's still in the lead, but Omar is catching up quickly, only 2,000 behind. These games were set in a paranormal World War II, except the most recent entry set in an alternate 1960. Am I talking about Call of Duty? Am I talking about Wolfenstein? Am I talking about Sniper Elite? Or am I just talking about Company of Heroes? I'm talking about Wolfenstein, of course. New Wolfenstein entry, very good.
I don't think I've played any of them since the first one.
Oh yeah, the most recent one's really good. The other one too, Return to Castle.
No, but it's New Order and something Blood, Old Blood.
Old Blood, yeah. New Order and Old Blood. Both are quite good. Old Blood is like really cheap as well, usually.
Yeah, there was an old World War II shooter that was really good, and I played it forever. It was a freeware game, and it was made to be like the Wolfenstein series, but I can't for the life of me remember what the title's name was. Does anybody remember that?
No, but I played Day of Defeat for a long time, which was like the kind of team-based mod. I still like that up from time to time. Day of Defeat Source. I really enjoy that.
Wish I could remember the name of that game.
So Omar and Jason are contending. You are the Clinton and the Trump, and Rose the Libertarian at this moment. John Romero, famous for the development of Wolfenstein 3D, Doom, and Quake, oversaw what $44 million dud? Was it E.T.? Was it Duke Nukem Forever? Was it The 11th Hour? Or was it Daikatana?
Shit. I thought it was Duke Nukem Forever.
So did I. We all went for that one.
No, it's
the dive.
Daikatana. Do you not remember the oh man, it was big drama, and other games that were being in development that people were waiting for got canceled because of this. 44 million at the time was huge as far as a gaming budget, like unheard of. Now I think it's
was Daikatana the one where you had like guns on your feet or something?
Never played any of those games.
No, I mean not many people did. It got very, very poorly reviewed, unfortunately.
Daikatana. I'm looking for a screenshot real quick.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember this one. It looks kind of like
it's like the John Carter of Mars of the video game world. It's like so much money went into it and nobody played it, and basically studios went down because of it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason already won.
The Krogan, Turian, Drell, Solarian, and Elcor are races in what game series? We're talking about StarCraft, Final Fantasy, Mass Effect, or the Elder Scrolls. Look at you. You all got Mass Effect. Come here, guys. Let's have a group hug. Let's have a group hug about Mass Effect. 'Cause it's the greatest games ever. And that is it for our game for tonight, guys. And after, 23 questions or so, Jason, you can rightfully claim your belt once again at 21,734 points. Jason, why is it every time I host, you win?
Because I'm the best, bitches. You're all going to get down on your knees and just eat whatever I shit in your mouth. That's right. I'm the trivia champion. You got nothing on me. You want to come in the ring? You're going to have to take down the Hawk.
I'm going to say Omar has something on you. He's only a couple thousand behind.
The first question is questionable.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow, the whole button's on the controller?
Yes.
Even if you got that one right, Omar... Yeah,
Jason wouldn't have such a big string of wins. Maybe we could have. It would have been closer.
Omar, you were definitely a threat this game with 19,006, and Ro bringing up the rear with 9,200. I'm sorry, Ro. I'm sorry that we had games tonight that weren't in your wheelhouse. You have to be old like me and have played games for a long time. All right, but. Jason, since you are the champion tonight, I'm going to ask you the first roundtable question, which is your first proper video game experience. Maybe it's not your technically first video game experience, but the one that in your heart you say, this was not the one where I was fumbling in the dark and I didn't know what happened and it was over too quickly. No. The one that was like really like your first girlfriend game that you gave your heart to.
And Kevin, since I'm the champion tonight, I'm going to answer you smugly.
Go on.
I think my first video game experience that I can remember ever was, clearly, obviously, I've talked about this on several occasions, the Atari 2600.
Yes.
And there weren't too many games available when I was very, very young. I remember playing this at the impoverished trailer of my aunt and uncle who had an Atari 2600. The trailer wasn't impoverished. The aunt and uncle were, just to fix that misplaced modifier.
Well done, editor.
They had Combat, of course, and they had Outlaw, of course. And I think those were the two games that I associate the most with my very earliest memories of video games. If you haven't played them, which many people listening to this podcast might not have any context for what Combat and Outlaw are, they're kind of the same game.
I don't know what Outlaw. Everybody knows Combat. I don't know what Outlaw is.
I don't think everybody does know what Combat is.
The same thing as Combat, only with two cowboys, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. I loved how in Combat you could bend the bullets. That was always the cool thing that I never would share with the person I was playing with, because it was your one advantage was you could bend the bullets.
So Combat, for those who have been born since, let's say, 1985, maybe a little bit later than that, is a top-down shooter. And remember, the Atari's 4-bit, so you get what looks like it could possibly, if you stretch your imagination and bend over backwards and grab your ankles, be a tank of some kind. Or depending on the mode that you're playing on, maybe you would get some planes or something like that. But it's military-based, and you're basically in like a maze, like a square maze, not very maze-like, but there's obstacles sprinkled around, and you got to drive around and shoot the other person. This was way before the internet, way before LANs of any kind, so you had to be playing on the same console. But it was head-to-head action, and that's what was good about that game. Now, Outlaw was pretty much the same thing, except with kind of a mix of like Pong. So you were facing each other across the screen, and it was like a duel, like a shootout. You had to shoot the other person or a target, depending on which mode you were playing. And sometimes in the middle there would be cacti or that sort of thing. Rocks, Indians in some cases, I think. But remembering way back then, Atari is what I became obsessed with at an early age. And
what about the arcade? Did you do anything in arcade, or was it just mostly like the console stuff?
Well, once in a while we'd go to an arcade, but again, poor family. It's not like we were throwing quarters at machines. That was more like Chuck E. Cheese. That was very special. You'd go to Chuck E. Cheese for something really special. But for the most part, Atari 2600, one of my formative experiences of that was before I had one myself, we would go for church-related reasons down to a nearby friend's house. And this was like every Sunday night we'd go down there, and there'd be, like 4 or 5 families that would gather there to have family fun. And all the adults would get together, and there weren't very many kids, but this family where we would always have these things had an Atari 2600 with tons of games. So as soon as I got in the house, I would run to the mom and be like, can I please play Atari? And after a few weeks, the mom pulled me aside and was like, when you get here, you can at least say hi. Don't just ask for the Atari first. And
Jason,
that's been permanently burned into my brain, has been like, here is what manners are.
Yes. Did you see what Omar just retrieved from the bowels of his bedroom?
Yeah, that's an oversized one. Is that a plaque, Omar?
No, it's combat. Look, it's not that big.
It looks larger because you're holding it real close to the camera, but that's the actual Atari cart?
Yeah, combat. CX2601. It has 27 different games.
27
games. As a tank, tank pong, invisible tank, biplane, and jet fighter.
I forgot about invisible modes. Those were crazy.
Yeah, invisible modes were hilarious because you could only see the other person. They would like uncloak for a half a second while they shot.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Shooting. Yeah, because if Star Trek's taught us anything, you can't fire while cloaked.
Atari cartridge art is amazing, and there are sites up where you can go and get scans of the cart art. And a few years back, I went and made high-resolution printouts on my work computer, my work printer, of 2 of those. I've got Asteroids and Space Invaders, and I framed them and hung them up in the basement.
Sometimes they were only
in the closet.
Nice. Sometimes they were only very tenuously linked to the actual game itself, like Warlords or something like that, showing like knights battling, and you're like, how is this bricks and a paddle?
But the games themselves are so low res that the cartridge art was all you had to kind of superimpose your imagination on what the game was.
Yep.
I also have Warlords.
I love Warlords. That is such a great paddle game. Like today, I would happily sit down with like 4 friends and play Warlords.
One of the best games ever made.
Yeah, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's like Breakout or Arkanoid, but 4 players, like 4 people having their own things to protect in each corner.
I think I like Kaboom better.
Now Kaboom, what was that?
Kaboom? That was Kaboom.
Is it similar? Is it like another?
Yeah, it was. No, it was not Kaboom. It was a similar one, only with like bombs, and you threw it to the other player.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Ro, why don't you tell us about your first proper game experience? Well, where did you give your first your gaming virginity?
I don't really remember. I know my brother had a Commodore 64, but I remember Spy Hunter and Up and Down, but I think
it doesn't sound like those captured your heart.
No, it was definitely when that one Christmas when we got a Nintendo, an NES, and played Super Mario, and that was pretty much it. Duck Hunt. But no, Super Mario was pretty much the one for me.
That was your first love, was Super Mario?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, I love playing Super Mario, but I think when I really got into it when it was Super Mario 2, because like that, it was just like, oh my god, and just playing.
It's one of my favorites, actually.
Playing to like where you can't save anything, so you just leave it on, hoping that it won't like burn out or something. You're just like, oh god, I gotta keep playing. But no, yes, Mario 2 I think is definitely the most memorable childhood memory of really enjoying this and just kept on wanting to play more and more and more.
Ro, I hope you feel the same way that I do, but I walk around subconsciously whistling things, and there's like 3 songs that I subconsciously just whistle. I'll like realize that I'm whistling. Mario 2's theme is one of them.
Yes, definitely.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Omar? What was your where did you give your flower to in the video game?
I also have the card, but I'm not going to go back to the closet and retrieve it. Yar's Revenge for the Atari. It's like the first. It's like the first game that caught my imagination like completely. I think it's that one.
Nice. For myself, I remember I went to my cousin's house on a sleepover party, and they took me to Chuck E. Cheese, and I'd never seen anything like it. I'd never seen, and it was literally like this is like the late 70s for sure, and it was like there was Pac-Man. And there was the one with the knight, that the Laserdisc one we talked about tonight. Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair.
I specifically remember Dragon's Lair. And then, so then I remember them. They put coins in and pushed me in front of a Pac-Man machine, and I was so confused. I had no idea what was going on. They're like, "Okay, run away from their ghost, run away from the ghost." And then I got like the pellet, and they're like, "Come on, now you've got to get the ghost, get the ghost." And I'm like, I thought I was supposed to run away from those guys. I don't understand. It was a very confusing moment, but I don't know. I knew I liked it. I knew I liked what was going on, but you know, it's like anyone's first time. Much confusion. You know what you like, what's going on. Over too soon. But
my earliest conscious understanding that sexism existed was Miss Pac-Man, because I knew that I liked Pac-Man and I knew that I wanted to play Miss Pac-Man, but I couldn't play it because it was Miss Pac-Man. Did that make me a girl?
Oh, so you were afraid that it was for girls? Is that what you're thinking?
That's what I was afraid of. Remember, this is way back in the 80s before we were enlightened in any way.
Of course, yeah. Now, I mean, Ro, you were playing a Pac-Man game tonight.
I am right now.
Like right now, don't put it away, Ro. Come on.
Which Pac-Man is it?
It's called Pac-Man Pop. It's like Bust-A-Move, and it's silly and cute. I think, you know, I was like, okay, I see a nice little time waster game. But I think my favorite thing about this game is when you beat a level, you'll see Pac-Man in the background, and a bunch of the power pellets like fall on the 4 ghosts on the bottom, and he's just like watching, like all happy, like as the pellets fall on these guys. I'm like, that's kind of sadistic. It's pretty funny, but
Pac-Man was never really captured my imagination. I did watch the Saturday Supercade. There was like a cartoon of Pac-Man when I was a kid.
Pac-Man was a great
the USA Cartoon Express.
Yeah,
there you go. So
you should play Pac-Man DX. That's high quality. I know there's a new one that came out. So if you really like Pac-Man,
I got one to introduce my kids to it on Steam, but it wasn't the original Pac-Man at all. Like
the tournament edition, that's a little bit too extreme for your kids, I think.
But the DX edition's really nice.
I want to introduce them to like just traditional Pac-Man, like what I played as a kid. And there's so many like flowery editions that it's hard to find just straight up Pac-Man. But there that is.
Is it called Crossy Road? Is that the
that's the Frogger one.
The Frogger clone with the chicken. There's a Pac-Man version of that too, and I played it for a hot minute. And you've got to keep on navigating the maze, and the maze just never ends. It just gets faster and faster.
Yeah, that's good. It's a little easier than the regular Crossy Road. It's the Pac-Man mode in Crossy Road. But okay, well let's jump up a bit then. What single-player game? And I'll ask you this first, Jason, since you are the champion tonight. What single-player game have you replayed start to finish the most number of times, would you say? Like
single player game, because this rules out Borderlands. Borderlands can be a single player game, but I played it from start to finish the most times with Omar.
We played the fuck out of that game.
I think you and I finished it 3 times.
You can use Borderlands if you want. I mean, when I say single player or co-op, like not as in like Overwatch or Team Fortress, like
not
something
an
with a
MMORPG.
Something that you finish.
Yeah, then it's going to be a tie. Then it's going to be Borderlands and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Sega Genesis.
Okay,
I've beat Sonic the Hedgehog 2 so many stinking times, and I probably own it. I think I own it on 5 platforms. I've got it through Steam. I've got one of those little Genesis consoles that you plug into your TV that it's on, that I've played it on. I've got it on the Wii, although I'm not sure. I think it might be the Sega Master System one. I haven't looked at that in a long time. And then I've got the original Sega Genesis cart. I'm pretty sure I have that on a Sega collection for the DS as well. But I bought that game many, many times and run through it many, many times, and it's the best Sonic game, in my opinion.
Number 2 is the best, just like Superman, X-Men, and Mega Man, which I've completed Mega Man 2 a number of times, but never on a real console. Always like where you can save the image, because that's just too hard. That's too hard to beat the Mega Man 2 without saving your image. For me, anyway. You guys
it's a rule that also holds true with wives, so I've heard.
What about you, Omar? What game would you, single player or co-op game that you have played start to finish the most?
I think it's a 3-way tie between Super Metroid, Final Fantasy VI, and Crystalis for the Nintendo.
Wow. So nothing like more recently that you've played a lot of times.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Final Fantasy VI exists in my mind since like what 1998. I want to say 1997, maybe.
7,
So-
I think.
So
Yeah, I went to
I've played it-
college in 1998, and 7 was what got passed around in the dorm room.
Yeah,
What were you playing that on?
Super Nintendo.
Yeah, okay. Say that like I should know. I don't know. I was
Okay.
never a console guy. I went
Super
straight
Nintendo.
to the bloomin' to the PC.
And dude, I still play that game every once
Really?
like once a year. I still look for a copy and at least an emulator and play the game.
Wow. Like
It's
start
awesome,
to finish, or you
awesome.
just
Yeah,
get still in
yeah.
there?
No, complete the game.
Wow.
Same
What
thing
Omar-
with Super Metroid and same
What
thing
is
with
it that
Crystal.
brings you back to it? Like, what do you like about it?
It's the best Final Fantasy ever. The graphics are awesome. The story is awesome. The controls, everything's just perfect.
Everything's perfect. Like, so when the experience itself, like the minute to minute experience is just. I mean, the story is something.
Oh,
you
it's
obviously know
grindy
the
as
story.
fuck. I mean, the game is grindy as fuck, as all JRPGs are, but it's a good one.
Okay. Okay.
Omar, here's what I need you to do, though. Throw 6 out the window, and then look at 7, 8, 9, and 10, and tell me which of those is the best.
They all suck.
Have
Really?
you played
You
them
can't
all?
come up with a favorite?
I mean, I can tell you 7 is the worst of them. It's even worse than 9.
Oh
What do you
god.
have against Cloud, Omar? Is it because he has hair and you don't?
It's a bad game.
Oh,
I don't know
man.
why people like it,
Have
honestly.
you played? Have you played all of these, Omar? Like, have you finished them all?
No, I didn't finish. I think I almost finished 7, and I barely played 8, 9, 10, and then there was Tactics, right?
10
And
too
then I-
as well.
Yeah, and then I stopped caring.
Okay. Ro, what about you? What single player or co-op game have you played the most, start to finish?
It's either Super Mario 3 or Super Mario World, because like I had that just constantly.
What was Super Mario World for?
And
Game Boy?
Super
SNES,
Nintendo.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
because like that's where you got Yoshi, and that's where you got to like have the cape, and that's when you saw the kids, and it was like, oh shit, this is crazy.
It's the one that came bundled with the Super Nintendo, usually.
Mhm. It was
Right.
one of the best, and I just played it over and over again. I lost count for each of them because, like, you know, you just, especially with now that they're both on Virtual Console, you can just essentially just pick it up and play wherever you feel like it. But I know that Jason said Momorpicas are kind of out of it, but I know that I leveled several characters in World of Warcraft up to level 80 back when I was really hardcore with Wrath of the Lich King expansion.
Like, how many would you say you've gone from like nothing to 80?
Probably 4, maybe 5. I forget.
Like each one, like how many hours is a single character?
I don't even know. I lost count, but
Like an hour a level, 2 hours a level, 5 hours a level?
it increases exponentially when you get to the higher levels. So
To go to level 80, we're talking at least 100 hours, right?
maybe not. No, I wouldn't say that necessarily. I don't know. It depends. Because like if you go into like dungeons, you get better XP or something. And I forget, but I know that I put a lot of time into World of Warcraft back.
So we'll say maybe 80 hours times 5
I don't.
characters.
I don't even want to know.
Yes, we're getting the math is too depressing.
It's not depressing. It's just I had a good time playing it, and I'm still good friends with a lot of people who I used to play with. We like talk to each other online and stuff, but you know, it's just fun. You know, when I played it. Now I'm just like, now I'll just watch Jeremy like, what's going on? He's like, oh, this. I'm like, okay, cool. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know anything else. So
Jeremy,
I would
still sticks
wager,
with-
though, that Ro, your TF2 time might rival that, because
it could.
there were years where we played that every single Thursday and probably twice a week in addition to that as well.
I'd have to actually install World of Warcraft to be able to tell you these things, but I'm not going to install that game. So, yeah.
So if we just took a rough estimate, we said 80 hours times 5 characters is 400 hours. If we divide that, say, by 7.5 working day, that's like 53 working days. So that's like 2.5 months of working days.
I got time.
All right. That's good. Is there any game more recently? Well, I guess World of Warcraft is kind of recent, but is there any other single-player game that's more recent? Because the Marios are quite oldish.
I don't think you can count Animal Crossing. So
you played Borderlands a couple times.
Yeah, Borderlands 2 then, I guess, because I leveled up whatchamacallit, the Necromancer, so... But I kind of just stopped playing. I mean, I wouldn't mind playing it again, but at the same time, I was like, oh, okay. I'm just more into just casual games now versus really getting to it. I think the next game I really need to play is, fuck, I forgot the name of it. It's an indie game. My friends keep telling me I should play it. It has like a really good soundtrack, and it's like a turn-based game. I can't think of it. It has like a yellow. This like has skulls in it. I forget the name.
Twister.
Undertale.
Undertale.
That's the game I need to play.
What, Undertale? Undertale, yeah. Okay, Undertale. And of course, you're all about the Overwatch right now. You are. What level are you at Overwatch right now?
I'm actually not. I haven't been playing a lot lately. I think I think Omar's ahead of me now. I know I'm like 118 or something, or 122.
That's significant.
I have friends that are like 2 something.
But you can't you can't
play with
to
people
one
in
friend.
490 something today.
Holy crap! Like I'm at like 60 something, and I'm like, I think I play this too much. I need to go practice my guitar or something. This is taking too much of my life.
Yeah, I think I'm on like level 40 or something stupid like that. But here's a question for you: do you think that phone games and jump in and out games like Overwatch, where you can play 5 minutes if you want to, do you think that those have ruined our attention spans for good games?
No, it's just that we now have less time to play them.
See, Omar, exactly. I might submit counter evidence there, Omar, because you have started a bunch of games lately. You've started like Firewatch. You started that Alien game. You started like a bunch, and just kind of stopped.
Because they don't catch my attention. They don't reel me in. But if I find a game that I really want to play, I'll play it.
Didn't we just say that the premise, the matter on the table is, have these games ruined our attention levels?
But no, it's not that they ruin my attention. It's just that they're not as good as I wanted them to be. I mean, I want to play like really good games.
They're not as good as Final Fantasy VI or whatever the heck it is.
Yes.
I think the next game I'm definitely going to be more excited for is the Pyre game by Supergiant Games. They did Bastion and Transistor. So I know definitely when that comes out, I'll start playing it until like I finish it.
But again, before I forget, John Wick 2.
John Wick 2. Oh, the movie. Okay, before we get into that, I just got to say my games, man, that I played multiple times. There's not a lot, but... Obviously, Max Payne 2, I've talked about this a bunch of times. Half-Life 2, which came up tonight a lot, I've played that start to finish a bunch of times. And Half-Life 2 Episode 2, if I can recommend anything for Euro, it's such a tight experience. It's like 4 hours of hard-on gameplay. And the ending, the final boss... You played this, right, Omar? Like against the Striders?
That's the one that has the buggy and the hovercraft, right?
It's got the car. It's got like the 70s car. And you put the sticky bomb thing in the back of the car and drive like hell to get to the Striders that are marching towards you like AT-ATs to the base. And you got
that one's not that bad. Yeah, that one's not that bad.
That one was amazing.
Because the first one has that stupid hovercraft and the stupid buggy on the sand. And
those that's Half-Life 2. Okay. I played those multiple times. I enjoyed
it. I hope that listeners twigged to the fact that Kevin just said hard on.
Mm-hmm. What did I say?
You said it was a hard-on gaming experience, and I'm just going to isolate that in the recording and loop it at the end like 50 times. Hard on.
I look forward to that. You know, it would be even better with the graphic I'm seeing of you sticking that big microphone in your mouth right now.
That's right. It goes all the way in.
All right, Omar, go on about John Wick 2.
No, they're making John Wick 2. I'm excited. Yeah.
Did you see the poster that came out this week? All right, well, that's all there is about John Wick 2. Omar's excited.
Well, there's only a poster out. I mean, and the fact that they're actually making it.
Yeah, they've been making it for a while. But they released a poster this week. They released a Ghost in the Shell couple trailers. I don't know if you care about
No,
Those
I
are
care
not
about
even
that.
trailers. Those are barely teasers.
That was the ATW9K equivalent of that Chris Farley sketch where he's like, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
Magnificent Seven is out this week.
I hear that's the most bland by the numbers.
Oh, that's too
It's
bad.
like it's just like
Oh, it's 66% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeesh.
yeah. Remember, this is like what, the fourth remake of this film, the fifth. Like you have Seven Samurai, you have Magnificent Seven, the original Magnificent Seven.
You
And then
also
you have
have
this
Seven
Magnificent.
Samurai again.
Was there another Seven Samurai? There was two.
An
Seven-
anime.
Oh, okay. So this
Good
is like
anime at that.
this is the fourth remake of this same movie.
Well, the fourth direct remake. You could make an argument that almost all movies in Western culture are the Magnificent Seven, just recycled in different ways, aka Star Wars.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know about that. Well, I'm not going to go that far. Especially a lot of those westerns are like.
Don't make me break out the term monomyth.
There's the lone gunman, which is this is more like that group thing, right? It's like the Ronin, the samurai who are abandoned, all joined together to fight one thing together. But you have like all those Clint Eastwood men with no names, which are definitely not that sort of Seven Samurai or Magnificent Seven kind of ethos. And you have the gunslinger who's hung up his guns, like the Shane or High Noon, that kind of stuff. And then he realizes that he's the guns, that he has to put it back on. That's not a Seven Samurai. That's not a Magnificent Seven story.
Yeah, but it's either Seven Samurai, Jojimbo, all of those like old Japanese movies are same theme.
The Japanese and the Western films often interchange with each other. Like the first Fistful of Dollars was a straight up Kurosawa film.
So, hey, did you guys hear the news about the John Wick 2?
It's awesome.
There's going to be a John Wick 2. That's the news.
This is entertainment news from Omar.
I'm happy about it. Fuck you guys.
Oh, did you guys hear all the news story about the Star Wars film coming out at Christmas?
Yeah, it's coming out at Christmas.
Yeah.
Rouge One. Is that the one?
Oh, yeah. We might as well put that out there. If you say anything to us on our Facebook or Twitter feeds, facebook.com/ATW9K or at ATW9K on Twitter, and you spell Rogue Rouge, we disown you.
But no, we don't disown you. We will mock you mercilessly, but we won't disown you. We can't afford to disown anyone. We don't have that many fans. Anyhow, is there any other housekeeping things we should say? We've already mentioned the Facebook and the Twitter. That's half of it done. Sponsor someone, give money to Patreon and or Simply Everything to keep the servers ticking over. Doesn't have to be a lot. A couple dollars a month. We're worth a couple dollars a month. Would you say there, Jason?
I think you should mention the website name, Kevin.
Website name, www.googlenews.com is the website that you can get news on upcoming movies like John Wick 2. Also, you can go to Facebook.
I read there earlier today that there's going to be a John Wick 2.
Yes. Yes.
Or you can go to facebook.com/ATW9K or simplysyndicated.com to get
That's the one.
That's the one that at the beginning of this podcast, Jonathan Swift, what's his name? Richard Smith came out and said, "You're listening to a Simply Syndicated podcast. To get more shows like this, go to Simply Syndicated." So they don't need us to tell them that.
You sound like a bad Sean Connery.
Go to simplysyndicated.com. Anyhow, this has already gone long enough, I should think. Let's call it a night. Anyhow, see you next time. This is probably the last trivia you're going to get for a while, folks. Sorry. Bye.